Smart Markets, and let's welcome Arun Thukral, MD and CEO of Axis Securities, who's here to walk us through what he's making, of course, of these robust moves that you're seeing for our markets, and more importantly, expectations from the budget, which is, of course, just 7 days now to go. Mr. Thukral, good evening. Thank you so much for taking time out for us. Some momentum building up for stocks ahead of the much anticipated budget. With just a week to go, expectations are also running high. Realistically, what is it that you think the government can offer this time round?
If we look at the budget, I think that is going to be the immediate trigger. And this time, because of demonetization, there is higher expectations from the budget. So we have to look at the taxes, maybe both the individual level as well as the corporate level. Individual level also the limit, the standard deduction limit, the soaps on housing, on the principal as well as on the interest portion. And then on the corporate side also, the expectation is the taxes has to come down because at the global level also even US is talking about lower corporate taxes. So that is another expectation. On the demonetization, other thing is now what next. So on the digitization, how to get more informal sectors into formal sector, what are the other soaps available for digitization. Then on the capital spending, what kind of capital spending is being done, investment management, what kind of money is going allocated, and on the capital side, roads, infra, ports, economic zones, a lot of such things we are expecting. And on the social spending side also, yes, there are a lot of schemes which we think government may not come out with the new schemes, but there will be some correction, some tweaking of the existing schemes. Apart from this, then there are some soaps for startup and similar things. So I think that is going to be a major trigger.
Well, that's an exhaustive list, isn't it, Mr. Thukral? But do you think it's actually that why you're seeing markets rally pretty nicely ahead of the budget? Do you think that the government will be able to deliver on some of these expectations? And what are you making of the market valuations? Do you think that on that hope we will rally further from here?
If we look at market valuation, it is right now, let's say, around 18 times. And if the trigger, as I said about the budget, goes right, then obviously there is going to be an upside. And I think what we have to look at, not the immediate level where we are going to be, what we have to see the direction. If the direction is positive, because if you look at if the GST is implemented from July 1st, if the other reforms like land reforms and labor reforms start, there is going to be an uptick. Right now I don't want to give a target where the market will reach, but looking at the trajectory, it seems to be positive on the back of the demonetization. Now even the kind of results we have seen recently, we were expecting a much worse scenario. But if I look at HUL or Asian Paint and maybe some other results, even TVS Motor was good actually today. So it is basically not as bad, and at some point of some places it is a pleasant surprise that it has not gone down that bad. So we are very hopeful that from here the recovery should start.
Well, that's good to hear. You're hopeful that the recovery will start. And you're right, because you did hear, the HUL management say that things are now actually looking up and demand is returning. In that light, if you're betting on recovery over the next quarter or so, what are the positives in the market?
So we are positive on the consumption side, because consumption sector has taken a beating, and now if the recovery start, that will be going to be the major beneficiary space, and then auto ancillaries, then something on the infra side. And if there are some near-term risk, if I say, that also should be an opportunity to get into the market, because these are the opportunities, whether US does something, whether Donald Trump announces certain policies. So maybe we will be cautious right now on IT and pharma. But if there are any triggers, let's say if right now crude is also inching up slightly, so there may be in between some fear. So these are the opportunities which may come. Although we are not too much worried about the crude price also, because there is a US shale gas production, so that may cap the upside. But what I am trying to say is, if there are opportunities, this should be used to accumulate the good scripts or good sectors. That is what we are saying.
Mr. Thukral, we leave it at that. So Axis Securities saying it's a good time to bet on the domestic stories. Perhaps you want to steer clear of IT and pharma, given the uncertainty that Trump era could bring in with it. But let's get you more market voices. Expect double-digit returns from Indian stock markets in FY18. That's about coming in from CLSA's India strategist Mahesh Nandurkar. And speaking to ET now, he says that he expects corporate earnings to be a lot better in FY